Hey guys, it's Sierra with LifeFullandFrugal.com. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today we're going to be sharing with you how to throw a beautiful and frugal 4th of July party. My sister Serena and her husband Matthew are considering opening a wedding venue probably in the next 2 to 5 years, and it's the perfect place because we've actually had a wedding there already. My sister Skyla was married in their barn a couple of years ago, and it was really magical. So if you like this property, be on the lookout for their wedding venue in the next couple of years. They're busy raising some little ones, but they're definitely in the process of preparing the property. It's absolutely stunning, and it will be available in the near future, so be sure to check them out. Step 1 to creating a beautiful and frugal July 4th party is definitely to use what you have. We gathered everything that we could find in our home that was red, white, or blue. We were able to really come up with some great stuff. We had some tablecloths, we used sheets, we used blankets, we used glassware and stemware, we used different vases and bud vases, we used house plants. So for example, if we had a place that didn't have a tablecloth, we would use a white sheet. In fact, the table where the food was had a white sheet as a tablecloth, and it worked perfectly. We also wanted to incorporate some red roses along with the blue glassware and the white glassware. So we took these milk glass vases and just put in some red roses as the red accent, and it worked beautifully. We got the roses from Aldi, and it was perfect. We used some beautiful red stemware glasses that my mom got for me for Christmas last year as just simple candle holders. We just put little tea lights in those, and they glowed so beautifully and bright. They worked so well as a red accent on the table. I was really happy that we had these picnic baskets and this apple basket and also an antique wine box, because we really needed to be able to have places where we could bring some height to set a plant on or a candle holder on or a vase of flowers, and it just really kind of provided a place of height to kind of lead the eye to something and create a beautiful background. The blankets also brought a really beautiful Americana rustic feel. Serena let us borrow one of her antique quilts, and we also had just some white cotton blankets. We were also able to use those outside for the kids to play on and everybody to sit on and enjoy a cool breeze. It also had a beautiful crocheted blanket on the pew where people could sit and either just relax, or they could also have some family pictures taken under the bunting and the Happy July 4th banner. So I just thought that that blanket really brought something, again, such a homey feel to that little nook. Another way to use what you have for your 4th of July party is to cut your own flowers. If you have a flower bed or a flower garden, using your own flowers is really fun and rewarding, and it's free. In our case, we needed some white and blue accents, and Serena has some Shasta daisies and some blue salvia. So she just cut me some Shasta daisies and salvia and also some decorative grasses. At the very center of the table, we did an arrangement I think turned out really beautiful. Step 2 to throwing a beautiful and frugal 4th of July party is definitely to accept hand-me-downs. If somebody is offering you something in their house, or they're taking stuff to Goodwill, or they're having a garage sale and they have leftovers, definitely consider looking through that stuff. Even if at first you're not really sure what you're going to do with it, take it home and at least look through it, because you never know what you might be able to do with those things. And if you don't end up liking them, you can always take them to Goodwill or your local charity shop or thrift store. Many of the items that we used on the table and throughout the barn were actually given to us. One of my favorite hand-me-down items that we used on the table setting were these little glasses that we got from a friend after an estate sale, and they're all about the USA space program. So they're the red, white, and blue, and we used them just for little tea lights, and I think that they turned out really cool. Our sister Shanna has also given us these beautiful blue kombucha bottles that we do use for kombucha, but we just happen to have some empty, and they were perfect for putting roses in. So we used a lot of our house plants and porch plants to decorate in the barn, and most of them have pots that are like pastel colors that really just didn't go with our theme at all. So my friend gave me some of these little wooden planters that look like tiny little apple baskets, and I just set the plants down into the wooden planters, and they really went with our theme. Because they were wooden, they looked rustic, they looked barn themed, they looked very Americana. They just really brought a cohesiveness to the look of the plants. Step number 3 to throw a beautiful and frugal 4th of July party is to borrow what you do not have. So several of the blue items that we have on the table are from Serena's house. Some of the blue vases and the blue canisters that we use for candles, those were from Serena. She also let us use some of her beautiful house plants. And because they have a wedding venue planned for the future, she has a lot of beautiful lanterns that she has collected over the years, and some of them are huge, some of them are mid-sized, some of them are small, but just the variation really brought something special. And I'm really grateful that we could use all of these beautiful lanterns. Serena's husband Matthew provided these great big wooden logs for us to set our ferns on and some of our other house plants and give them some height so that people could see them. And again, it just brought a beautiful country rustic feel to the barn. Serena and Matthew also have some beautiful church pews that have been given to them over the years in preparation for their wedding venue. So we did use some of those church pews, specifically one where everybody could sit, again, to sit under the bunting and the Happy July 4th sign to get pictures together. We also needed to be able to block off part of the barn and make kind of a false wall. So my parents brought over some linen drop cloths and let us hang those. And it really just brought kind of a brightness to the room. It kind of blocked off space that we didn't need to use. We were able to hang this beautiful bunting on this drop cloth wall. The lights really made it shine. It's kind of a sandy color, so it's very warm and inviting, and it also just brings a really rustic feel to the room. My dad, as I've said in other videos, is definitely a collector, and he has some beautiful antique ladders that we were able to use. We had this beautiful horizontal antique ladder with the mason jars and the ferns and the spider plants, and then it just framed this beautiful American flag along with some Edison lamps. So it just really felt like when you walked into the barn, when you walked into the room, your eyes went straight to this beautiful American flag that was framed by all this pretty stuff. And I really love the effect that that whole look had on the room. Step number 4 to throw a beautiful and frugal 4th of July party is definitely to hit the dollar stores. I was able to find these like 18 by 12 inch American flags for $1 each at the Dollar Tree. The bunting that hung above the church pew that says Happy 4th of July was also from Dollar Tree. The plates and napkins were all from the Dollar Tree. The large flags hanging in the doorway of the barn were from Dollar General. The sparklers and the beautiful bows that held up the bunting were from Dollar General. I also found some cute little glow sticks from Dollar Tree. The kids loved those. And that beautiful bunting that's hanging on the left side of the room over the drop cloth wall is actually just scarves I got from Dollar Tree. And I just knotted the ends and then tied them together. And I just thought that that bunting looked so rustic and beautiful. I didn't know exactly what I would do with those scarves. I just thought that they were so pretty for the party. And Starla said, let's just make bunting. So it worked really well. And I think that that bunting really brought something special to the room. Step number 5 to throwing a beautiful and frugal 4th of July party is to plan an inexpensive menu. When you're feeding a lot of people, you really have to think about the cost. So this was our solution. For this party in particular, we decided to do marinated chicken legs and pork burgers. My brother-in-law Matthew is a hog farmer, so they're able to get pork pretty inexpensively. So they provided the burgers, and we got two 12 packs of chicken legs, and they were less than $5 each, and we just marinated those overnight. So for the sides, we had homemade potato salad, we had homemade French onion dip with potato chips, we had a veggie tray that you could also use the dip with, we had tortilla chips along with pink dip, and then we wanted to have some really cool seasonal desserts. So we had Nanny's Blueberry Banana Delight, which is also on the blog. You can check out the recipe, along with strawberry shortbread. To drink, we had homemade lemonade and homemade iced tea, and we also had water. So you can see how the menu was all homemade, it was all delicious, and it was all tasty, but it was all pretty inexpensive stuff that didn't break the bank and feeds a lot of people. And finally, step number 6 to creating a beautiful and frugal July 4th party is to get creative. Mix and match what you have, mix and match what you've borrowed, get eclectic, get rustic, make it beautiful, use what you have, use tea lights. You can never go wrong with just throwing tea lights and stuff, having a glow, making it shine. It's definitely a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it, and everybody will enjoy it. There's something wonderful about just creating something that people will enjoy, a space where people feel comfortable and cozy and loved, a place where people feel like they can celebrate and enjoy themselves. So definitely get creative, use your imagination, and you'll come up with something beautiful for this July 4th celebration. So you guys, I really hope that you enjoyed these ideas and that they inspire you to throw your own beautiful and frugal 4th of July party with your friends and family, and you have lots of laughter and light and good food. Don't forget to check out the description below for some other helpful links. Happy July 4th, happy Independence Day, be blessed, and we'll see you next time.